Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. Today we're going to talk about gerrymandering. That's bound to be a fun topic. So, the word gerrymandering is a portmanteau of the word gerry and salamander. Was coined due to Elbridge Gerry, who was a politician in Massachusetts, who redistricted the state. And it was some of the districts were so oddly portioned that people said they looked like a salamander. This redistricting cost Elbridge Gerry his job, interesting enough, but it was successful in keeping control of the government within a specific political party. That is basically what gerrymandering does. It is the redistricting of a state or area with the intent of providing an advantage to one party or another during the voting process. It is done either by splitting up voting blocks or packing certain districts with preferred voters, or, that type of thing. And it is used by both parties to great effect, to such that in the 2002 elections, only 3 or 4, I think it's 4 challengers beat incumbents, which is the lowest amount in modern American history. So incumbents who draw these redistricting gerrymandered maps basically have a free pass. It allows them to keep themselves in political power and keep their party in political power. I am not a fan of this. I think the district should be drawn by an independent party. But be that as it may, the U.S. Constitution allows for maps to be or states to be redistricted every census, to account for increases or decreases in population. And I said it's supposed to be done after the census. We are currently in 2025, which is 5 years between the censuses. So this is a midterm redrawing. Well, Texas is attempting to do a midterm redraw. This is the map of Texas. Specifically, it is a map that shows the election results of the 2024 election. Apparently, this map isn't red enough for Governor Greg Abbott. He needs there to be more red. Can you see how much blue can you actually see? Apparently, Greg Abbott doesn't like this. I would also like to point out that while Abbott is correct that there is a precedent, it's only been done twice. Mid-census redistricting has only been done twice in U.S. history, both times by Republicans, and both times as an attempt to either maintain or increase their power in the state government. This is not fair. This is not done with the interest of the state's constituents. It is purely an attempt to steal political power from your opponents. And yes, as I did mention, only four challengers were able to defeat their incumbents, so Democrats are guilty of this as well. But primarily, at least in recent history, Republican redistricting maps have been declared unconstitutional a few more times than the Democrats have. Now, I'm speaking the last 40 or 50 years. Prior to that, my knowledge goes a bit more sketchy, but I'm not that old. I would also like to point out a couple more things. One, Texas has approximately 6.6 million registered 6.6 million registered Republican voters. Texas has 6.6 million registered Republican voters. Texas has 8.1 million registered Democratic voters. Democrats in Texas outnumber Texans by about 1.5 million. How does the map end up like this? And how is Greg Abbott actually representing his constituents by trying to turn more of it red? He's not. Now, I could look at other states, but this is the one that's in the news right now, primarily because the Democrats have left the state to break quorum uh, in order to prevent Greg Abbott and the Republican politicians of Texas of even further reducing the number of Democratic votes in the state, or the effectiveness of any Democratic votes in the state. Now, in the interest of truth and facts, at least in Texas, Republicans do actually turn out more during elections than Democrats do. During the presidential election, more Republicans voted on the 24 election. More Republicans did vote than Democrats. I can't say as to why that is. It's entirely possible. I could speculate, but I don't know for sure. So I will not speculate. I will leave it at that. But even so, even the fact that there are more Democrats, yet more Republicans vote, this is still very unfair. The Democrats who have fled their state have not broken any laws, however. It is within the Texas Constitution that they are allowed to break quorum. I don't know the exact terminology of it. I don't know the exact legal phrasing of it. But they are allowed to break quorum. They are allowed to do this. It was written into the Texas Constitution specifically to keep the state legislature from ramming through legislation that is bad. And I do think Greg Abbott's attempt to redistrict the state in the way that he is doing is bad. This is just so frustrating for me. Democrats have threatened to retaliate if Greg Abbott's redistricting map goes through. I'm not sure how effective that will be. I don't think they should, but at some point, I mean, the states are already heavily redistricted anyway. But midterms elections are coming up. California's a blue state, but they do have a significant quantity of Republican voters. They have elected Republican governors in the past. They could easily just redistrict it and crack their, split their votes up, pack the right, pack districts with Democratic voters, deny the Republicans their voice. In much the way that Greg Abbott is denying the Democrats of his state their voice. I do not approve. And I'm just watching my country go down the toilet, and I can't avoid it. It's not good for my mental health. But it's just getting worse and worse. And I hate talking about this stuff. But I've got what else am I going to talk about? It's what's on my mind. I just wish all these people would go away. A lot of politicians, not just Republicans, but I'm talking about Greg Abbott specifically, and yes, I wish he would go away. I'm just a frustrated old man. Good hunting.